Hey everybody, welcome back to Dom Talks Movies. We're at episode 3, and today is a very special episode because I'm going to list my favorite movies from the year I was born up till today. So let's just do it. Also for this list, I'm choosing like more rewatchable movies, things that you could just put on any time of the day and just love it and never gets old, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to like the critically best film of said year. And you're gonna understand what I mean when I start listing off these movies. Alright, well, I was born in 1986, so that's where we're starting, and a lot of good movies came out this year. We got Stand By Me, The Fly, The Color of Money, Labyrinth, but my number one choice for the year of my birth is Big Trouble in Little China. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's an awesome movie. It's about Kurt Russell playing a trucker whose truck is stolen by a Chinese sorcerer and he has to go to the underworld to find it. And if you haven't seen it, you should probably just hate yourself, but maybe just watch it instead. Don't hate yourself, love yourself.
It's all in the reflexes.
1987. So this year was a gold mine for horror movie lovers, specifically horror comedy lovers. We got The Lost Boys, Evil Dead 2, The Gate. Monster Squad came out this year, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That's the Nightmare on Elm Street movie where things got really corny. But my choice for this year is actually a tie between RoboCop and Raising Arizona. Both great movies, both very different movies. I love them both. I could watch them any time of the day, but I have to choose RoboCop. Mostly just for the scene where he shoots that guy in the dick. So, moving on.
He's got a killer!
Your move, creep.
This has got to be somewhere between The Land Before Time, Beetlejuice, and Cocktail. And the winner is Beetlejuice. And I've already said his name twice, so let's just move on.
What are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
1989. In the year of Roadhouse and Tim Burton's Batman, I'm going to have to pick Tango and Cash. I have a deep affinity for Stallone, Kurt Russell, and bad movies, and this movie's got all three.
I don't know yet. Yeah, you don't know shit.
1990, we made it to the 90s! And this year has no contention because it houses my favorite movie of all time, Goodfellas. You win. You win all the movies, but you win 1990.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
So what do I pick? Terminator 2, Boys in the Hood, Point Break? I'm going with Terminator 2. I think it's superior to the first Terminator and the best Terminator in all the series. It's not saying too much because part 1 and 2 are really the only good ones, but Terminator 2 is unique in the sense that it might be the first example of a soft reboot. James Cameron filmed Terminator 2 and changed a lot about what happened in the first movie. Like, obviously the bad guy became the good guy and you didn't have to recast him. And also, it's just a lot more fun and a lot more of like a popcorn movie, and I think that's just his niche. (1992). Even though this year had A League of Their Own, which I love that movie, Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Gary Marshall, great, it's perfect. But Another movie came out this year that I just spent a lot more time watching in my youth, and that is School Ties. Also has a good cast: Brendan Fraser, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and like half the cast of Dazed and Confused. It's a great movie. I watch it all the time. Big year, 1993. We got Jurassic Park, Dazed and Confused, The Sandlot, Groundhog Day, Carlito's Way, and Tombstone. And as much as I love Tombstone and think it's a fucking awesome movie, I'm gonna have to pick True Romance. This is a good movie, obviously. It's got a great cast. Too many stars to name, but I'll name a few. Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper, Brad Pitt, Christian Slater, Gary Oldman. And I just have to say, you know, when it comes to a movie being a romance, a crime thriller, a drug movie, an action, a drama all in one, this movie nails it. 1994, even bigger year, because this is the year that we got Forrest Gump, The Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Clerks, and Dumb and Dumber. Now, obviously this is a hard choice. I love all these movies, all for very different reasons. The part of me that saw Dumb and Dumber in theater wants to pick it so bad, but I'm gonna have to go with Forrest Gump. I rewatch this movie all the time, mostly because it's always on TBS and they force me to watch it. But I ain't even mad about it because it's a great movie. Despite the fact that Jenny is terrible, she does not deserve Forrest, but that's neither here nor there.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I want to choose either Casino or Clueless. Those movies are just movies that I've watched numerous times and never got tired of. But I'm going with Mallrats. I watched this movie a lot when I was in high school, basically like 8th grade into freshman year. I find it still to this day to be one of the funniest movies. I think a lot of my sense of humor comes from that movie.
Hey, what the hell's going on here?
I was warned about you. Take it easy before I have you removed from the
Warned? What the fuck are you talking about? Tell him, Steve Dave. Fuck you, fanboy. You two.
Is it gonna be Train Spotting or maybe The Cable Guy? Neither. It's Fargo. Definitely one of the Coen brothers' best movies, if not their best. Yes, I went there. Aside from Raising Arizona, I think this is their best movie. The movie is acted perfectly, and I wouldn't want to change anything about it. Definitely wouldn't change any of the cast.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
1997, the year of Austin Powers and Con Air. Well, I think I'm just gonna have to choose Boogie Nights. Now this movie is definitely, without a doubt, inarguably Mark Wahlberg's best performance, aside from maybe I Heart Huckabees. It introduced me to Paul Thomas Anderson, and he's been making a lot of good movies ever since, but Boogie Nights always stands out to me as being one of his best.
But, I mean, God, what can you expect when you're on top, you know? It's like Napoleon, when he was the king, you know, people were just constantly trying to conquer him, you know, in the Roman Empire, so it's history repeating itself all over.
This year's tough because we have The Big Lebowski, American History X, and Rushmore. Very good movies, but I'm going unconventional on this one, and I'm choosing Can't Hardly Wait. I love this movie so much. I've always liked it. Even as a young lad, I used to watch it a lot, and it hasn't gotten old for me. And it definitely breaks the mold in a lot of ways for teen comedies.
Amanda, I love you. Listen,
This was the year when me and some of my rambunctious friends decided to buy tickets to The Haunting, starring Liam Neeson and Owen Wilson, but instead decided to sneak in to South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. It worked, but the movie theater staff decided to cut the cord at 10 minutes left in the film. Like, there's 10 minutes left in the movie, and that's when they decided to kick us out. They asked us for our tickets, we obviously didn't have it, and that was it. Never got to see what the last 10 minutes of South Park was until it came out on VHS. But what's my favorite? Is it Being John Malkovich or is it Fight Club? Well, actually, it's neither. It's Man on the Moon, starring Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman. He fucking nailed it. He hit the ball right out of the park, and it was a great movie. And I don't know if he won an Oscar for it or not, but he probably should have, I think. I don't know what his competition was that year, but very good movie. Always watch it.
Thank you very much.
2000. We're out of the 90s. We survived Y2K, and we're ready to ask Jeeves what my favorite movie is. This one's tough. We got Almost Famous, Snatch, Castaway. But I think the choice is obvious. I'm going with Battlefield Earth. No, I'm just kidding. Never seen that movie. I don't really want to. But my actual choice for favorite movie of 2000 is American Psycho.
But they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends. It's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul! Ah!
2001, this is another good year. We got Shrek. Blow came out this year, and we also got Moulin Rouge, also a movie I watched a lot. But I actually chose between two movies. It was between Training Day and The Royal Tenenbaums. As much as I love both these movies and I don't want to give up either one of them, I want to be able to watch both of them whenever I want, but I'm gonna have to choose The Royal Tenenbaums.
Think you can march? You want to talk some jive? I'll talk some jive. I'll talk some jive like you never heard. Oh yeah? Right on! Sit down. What?
2002. So it's between Gangs of New York and Signs. Both great movies for different reasons, but I'm gonna have to choose the one that resonated with me a little bit more, Signs. I feel like this movie just keeps getting better and better with age. Definitely one of M. Night Shyamalan's best movies. And it's a very beautiful movie. And there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of deep meaning, and I love it. It's a great movie. But with that said, Gangs of New York was very good. Daniel Day-Lewis got robbed for Best Actor that year. And Cameron Diaz should never have shown up. I don't know why they hired her. And also the third act of Gangs of New York gets kind of boring. But, you know, Signs. 2003, the choices are slim, so I'm just gonna go with X2, X-Men United, and I still feel like it's the best X-Men of the whole series.
This is just a misunderstanding.
Put the knives down!
I can't.
2004, the year I graduated high school. This was also a good year for movies. Maybe years that end in 4 just have a really good record of making good movies. I don't know, we'll find out when we get to 2014. So this year had 3 of my all-time favorite movies with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Garden State, and The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Other good movies that came out this year, Mean Girls, I Heart Huckabees, Sideways, Anchorman, Hellboy. This is a tough year. But if I had to choose just one that I could just keep watching forever and ever, I'm gonna have to choose Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I need it to stop before I wake up and I don't know you anymore.
Okay, well, you know, just I'll cancel it then.
What the hell are you talking about? I can't just cancel it, I'm asleep.
Wake yourself up!
Okay.
Even though I really enjoyed Walk the Line, I'm gonna have to choose Batman Begins. I was super into this movie when it first came out. I was obsessed with Batman. Still think Batman's great, but this movie's awesome. And it did something really good for the character. It gave a lot more depth to him. It's definitely one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. So Batman Begins, you win 2005, baby!
What the hell are you? I'm Batman.
2006. This was the year I worked at Hollywood Video, and I'm really happy for that because when I was a kid, my dream was to work at a video store one day, and I finally got to do it. just at the tail end of the video store craze. So this year I got to watch a lot of movies, and the movie I liked the best was Little Miss Sunshine. Alright, 2007, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Superbad.
You brought a condom with you?
Yeah, I figured I might as well, you know. I brought a little bottle of spermicidal lube, too.
2008, this year's also easy. It's The Dark Knight. Easy, no problem. And I'm still debating on whether or not The Dark Knight is better than Batman Begins. It's not. Batman Begins is better, but both are obviously great movies. Spoiler alert, Dark Knight Rises doesn't even come into question during its year because that movie is complete shit. Even though this is the year of the very overrated Avatar, it was good technically, story-wise and acting-wise. But no, we're going with Inglourious Basterds.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
2010. This year had The Book of Eli, which is criminally underrated, but I have to choose between Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Blue Valentine. Gonna have to choose Scott Pilgrim, mainly because Blue Valentine is a bit depressing. And Scott Pilgrim is just very, very good, very entertaining.
He and me.
Don't you talk to me about grammar.
I dislike you, capiche?
Tell it to the cleaning lady on Monday.
What?
2011, no competition, it's Drive. And like its main character, I'm not gonna say much more on that. (2012), the year the world was supposed to come to a screeching halt, but instead of delivering us an apocalypse, it delivered us things like The Avengers and Prometheus. But my choice for #1 movie in 2012 is going to be The Silver Linings Playbook.
Does anybody here happen to know what the official motto of the state of New York is on the official seal of the state of New York? Huh? Anybody? Do you? Do you know?
No.
Excelsior. Look it up.
Really? What?
Yeah. Excelsior.
2013, The Wolf of Wall Street. (2014), the year ends in 4. Is there going to be a lot of choices to choose from? I don't know. Let's find out. Interstellar, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and Foxcatcher. All very good movies. But we have to choose one. What are we going to choose? I'm choosing Boyhood. This is the movie that was 12 years in the making. Richard Linklater spent 12 years filming this movie, chronicling the life of a kid when he was 6 years old up until when he was 18. And it's amazing. He did an amazing job. I'm surprised that it even happened, that it worked at all, but thank God, and now we get to watch it whenever we like. 2015, I'm going with Mad Max Fury Road. This was an incredible technical achievement, and it just looked fucking beautiful. So yeah, it doesn't get a lot of credit, so I'm gonna give it some credit. Mad Max Fury Road, you win 2015. This year's tough because Richard Linklater came out with a new movie, Everybody Wants Some, about a bunch of baseball players living in a frat house together, college in the 80s, and it's a lot like Dazed and Confused, which is not a bad thing. And it's a very enjoyable movie. I really like it. I watch it as often as I can, and I really want to choose it as my favorite. But instead, I'm gonna have to choose a movie that I feel was just a little bit better. And for a completely different reason, we're gonna add an animated movie to the list with Kubo and the Two Strings. Such a gorgeous film, such a delightful movie. I'm surprised not a lot of people talk about it. It just kind of, you know, slipped through the cracks there, but it's a great movie. You should watch it. Go watch it right now. No, seriously, go watch it right now. "2017, this is a no-brainer for me. The standout feature in this year was Get Out. And it definitely was a great movie, original movie, which is rare these days. And the only other two movies I could think of that would even come close would be I, Tonya and It. "2018, we made it to the end. We're about 10 months into the year, so a lot of movies have come out. We have A Quiet Place, Mandy, Ready Player One. But what am I gonna choose for the favorite movie so far of 2018? Well, baby, I'm gonna have to go with the big enchilada on this one and choose Avengers Infinity War. Being the huge fan of superhero movies that I am, this is an obvious choice. I've been invested in all superhero movies even before the Marvel Cinematic Universe started, but when it did in 2008 with Iron Man, they laid the groundwork for a very cool connected universe. All their movies were focused on just being good movies, not having this connective tissue. Later on is when they decided to bring it all together, but it wasn't so in your face. DC, you can learn a lot from what I'm saying right now. Focus on making good movies, not on how they connect as a whole. But Infinity War was the culmination of all these movies, all these storylines finally coming together, and it was amazing. These directors and these producers, these writers, this whole team of people, they made an amazing movie. Aside from the fact that it was connecting all these films, this movie was just so good. It was fun, it was entertaining, and I don't know how they did it, but it succeeded, and it was great. Can't wait for the next one. Avengers 4, please come out tomorrow. Well guys, this was a lot of fun. I wanted to do this episode from the beginning of Dom Talks Movies, so we did it, and it was fun. And if you thought I brushed over some things or didn't mention certain movies, comment below, and like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more episodes of Dom Talks Movies. You guys are great. See you later.